I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass.
Why? Say it!
Yeah. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing.
And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Good answer. Good answer.
Good morning and welcome to the War Room with myself, Bob Quinn, and Trent King. We are going to break down, whether Dave likes it or not, how the Steelers might be able to pull off a big upset here today. And it's not going to be as far-fetched as you think by the time we get through with you. But that being said, Trent, how we doing this morning? Are we feeling any better about the defense and all the inactives?
Derek Carman coming back is a big deal. I think that's probably going to be one of the undersold storylines of what this game could potentially turn into. So having him back in the fold is going to be amazing. A little bit more than beyond nervous about Jack Sawyer versus Penei Sewell in this game. It doesn't really bode well for us. So we'll see how Jack plays. I mean, he's solid against the run, but we need to generate some pass rush in this game too.
As much as we criticized, and well-deserved, I like Omar, but I'm not an Omar apologist. I really felt like there were wide receivers we could have took with Jack Sawyer. He kind of looks good at this point with taking Jack Sawyer. I mean, did he know something we didn't, that people were gonna get hurt this badly?
I mean, if you look at the injury history for all three of the edge rushers ahead of him, I mean, it's not like it's a short list. Herbig's always on some kind of soft tissue issue. Alex has always had soft tissue issues, and TJ has missed games throughout his career and more as he's gotten older. So, the insurance policy looked stupid at the time, but insurance policy with value when they picked him now starting to look like, well, I guess we'll see today, but possibly paying dividends late in the season.
Yeah, I think today he has to prove he's not just the fourth guy like a Jeremiah Moon or a Melvin Ingram or somebody like that who's just kind of a throwaway. If he comes out and has any kind of a game here, Omar kind of looks really smart in this.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I hate that matchup because Penei Sewell, you can say whatever you want. That dude's one of the best tackles either side of the line in the league. He's a phenomenal player. So Jack's definitely going to have his welcome to the NFL moment this week for sure, going against that guy for what you could probably assume is going to be close to 40 snaps. They're going to have to play everything. He and Alex Highsmith, they're going to play as many snaps as they can take. That's just the way it's going to go this week.
Yeah, and I did see some reports now that even if TJ does come back, not to expect him to be able to, even if they do hold him till the playoffs, not to be able to expect him to come out and just play 90% of the snaps in the playoffs or whenever he comes back.
That report's looking worse and worse as information leaks out about it.
Yeah, and it also sounds like there may be some friction between TJ and the team at this point.
Yeah, I saw one thing that there's questions as to whether or not he comes back this season.
Yeah,
it's not like it's a. I think everybody thought, okay, well, he's going to sit this week. Maybe he comes back for the Baltimore week. Maybe he's back for the first round of the playoff. There's other reports saying that even if we make a run into the playoff, he may not be back this year. So,
yeah,
that's scary.
And if he feels some kind of way about it, do you think TJ demands a trade?
Oof. That could get messy.
It could
really get real messy.
Yeah, especially with all the money they just paid him. All right, let's talk about the game. So today you for a player highlight, you picked out Cam Hayward. Oops, let me put that back up there and rewind it real quick. So
yes,
you can kind of intro it.
I picked Cam as the player highlight this week for a reason. So he's going to be one of the biggest pieces to stopping this Lions offense. They need to generate pressure from inside in the interior. And I think that's going to be the big factors. Both Decker and Penei Sewell are very good offensive tackles in this league. It's going to be really difficult to win your one-on-ones against those guys. However, the interior of the Lions line has not protected Jared Goff particularly well this year. So I think there is an outside chance that we could generate some good pressure from guys like Keanu Benton, from Cam Hayward, and hopefully we start to see the development of Derek Harmon's pass rush ability. He's done very well in the run game this year. You see the statistics. By now, everyone has seen the rush yards per game when he's in the lineup versus when he's out of the lineup. He is a difference maker. But if they generate from within, Jared Goff is not that mobile. He likes to be more of the stand in the pocket passer. He likes to step up a little bit in the pocket at times. But if you generate that pressure from the middle, he does struggle in those scenarios. And that's where he also creates a lot of his turnovers. He protects the ball well, but when he does turn it over, I think it's from the interior pressure. So the first one, obviously, the run game is going to be a big piece to the Lions offense. We're going to show how Cam Hayward is going to affect the run game here. He's obviously, you know where he's at on the screen here. The tackle, they try to slant the line down and have the tackle pick up Cam. That's just not going to work. Cam Hayward is too good. Paul tries to slant down and get in front of him. Cam just gets that double arm extension, controls Paul right from the jump. His extension is the best out of any defensive lineman not named Reggie White that I can remember. I mean, he's just incredible how he creates this leverage. He just stands the guy up, and then he knows where the ball carrier is going, sheds this block with ease, and there's nowhere for the running back to go. You just get swallowed up by Cam Hayward, and then you're done. Because as soon as he gets his bear hug around you, you're pretty well stopped. So,
yeah, and it's not just a run-of-the-mill running back there. That's Devin Achane, who, if he cuts it back, and we showed it in the war room last week before, when he cuts it back, usually he goes for 15 yards.
Yeah. Yep. And this is, I mean, the cutback lanes are a big piece of the Dolphins offense too. So same thing with Gibbs. Gibbs is a great runner and he does cut back very, very well. The Lions like to move their offensive line a little bit like the Dolphins' different scheme, but I mean, they do kind of move those guys around a good bit. So this one is exactly what we want everybody on this defensive front to do. Watch Cam Hayward shed this double team. So they come out in a double team, and then you see the guard tries to climb up off of that. Cam just stacks both guys up, holds his ground, splits the two once the guard starts to leave. I mean, there was nothing they could do in this scenario because Cam just anchors down. Again, his extension is fantastic, and he just shuts this run play down by himself. So, like, when you're doubled like this right here, I mean, look at Malik Harrison. He's got all day to seal this hole up as a linebacker and fill that hole so that Achane can't go up inside. But Cam does not give ground. So even when the guard does try to come off, which he knew he couldn't come off too early because Cam was winning against the double team right here. He doesn't give any ground. He went 1 yard backward. And now, again, this is just pure strength, and this is where he has been successful throughout his entire career. Paul has no chance right here. Cam's already split them, and he comes up, and he makes this play by himself. When you're the guy getting double-teamed in the run game, and their focus is to make sure you don't make the play, and then you make the play, you're doing something really, really well as an interior defensive lineman. So this is a huge key because I'm going to be honest with you. I know Jahmyr Gibbs is going to get all of the attention. I don't think the key to the game is to shutting down Jahmyr Gibbs. It's limiting David Montgomery. That sounds crazy, right? Because everybody knows Gibbs is like the catalyst to the entire Lions offense in some ways. But David Montgomery is the move the chains guy. He keeps them on schedule. He gets those 4 or 5 yards per carry that really stack up. Gibbs is more the explosive guy. If we shut down David Montgomery and limit the move the chains stuff, this is why I'm highlighting the run game right now with Cam Hayward. Now, this next play here.
Actually, hold on. I just wanted to rewind something. I wanted to show you something that I've noticed. And I'm not a Malik Harrison fan, but like you said, Malik fills this hole. He forces him to bounce. Yeah. And then Cam is winning like you're illustrating here. But I want to point out Joey Porter here. This is where Achane usually just squirts through the hole and is goodbye. And Cam comes off and grabs him. But Joey is right there. So the gap integrity, and I think the run defense has dramatically improved over the last 3 weeks. And I don't know if that's so much because – the last week with TJ out, everybody knew like, hey, we got to do our fucking job because nobody's bailing us out today. But I was really impressed with how well everybody. I don't know if, and I hate to give them credit, but I don't know if Austin and Tomlin have just simplified this to the point of just see ball, hit ball. That's it. That's all we care about.
Yeah. But even Alex Highsmith, he's taken on Ingold, and Ingold is a great blocking fullback. He's been in the league for a long time for a reason. He's very good at what he does. We highlighted him during the Miami week a number of times. And like Alex Highsmith, again, look at him. He's setting the edge, forcing A-Chain back inside. And again, like you mentioned, Joey Porter, he's not waiting. He's coming up. And this is part of, I think, what changed with this defense. Everyone is attacking the ball now. They're not just waiting on someone else to make the play, which was part of the issue with that Bills game. Everyone wanted someone else to make the play instead of attacking the ball. Here on this play, there's such great flow from everybody on this play. It all started with Cam beating that double team, and that was the key. And this is going to be the same thing that you'll see this week with the Lions, because all teams start this way. They want to get that initial double out of like a duo look, and then they try to climb to the linebackers. But if you beat the double and don't let the double come off of you, that's a big piece to stopping the run. Cam does it better than anybody. Mm-hmm. Now, this is a vet savvy play right here. So you see Cam, he's in his normal position. Just look at this. Quick screen, read, diagnose, get out there. And again, this is your defensive tackle out in space making a play on an athletic back. This is just phenomenal recognition by Cam Hayward, because this is them just trying to get A-Chain out in space. Again, great flow by the entire defense. You just see 4 guys shoot outside, and we've got the numbers on that play, and there was really nothing they could do about it. It was great recognition, but Cam immediately, as soon as he saw Tua turn the hips, he just starts sprinting straight outside. That's effort from a guy who's, 36, right? 36 years old?
I think he just turned 36, right?
36-year-old interior defensive linemen aren't sprinting to the sidelines to make plays as much as they did when they were 26 years old. Cam is still giving that effort at 36, and that's why I think he's had such a great year. Mm-hmm. So now we're going to highlight what everybody has seen from Cam Hayward in the past. It's time to see the bull rush. There's the single arm. He just walks the guard straight back into his lap. If you're the quarterback, what do you do in that situation? He gets in so quickly that there's just nothing you can do. He stands him up with one arm and walks straight back and then gets the sack. This is what we need to see today. Very, very early and often is get that bull rush working from the interior. I know Keanu Benton has that great club swim. I want to see the club swim. So we need to see some interior pass rush in this.
Yeah, and I think Chad's got some talk going here.
I know.
With the Lions have some problems with injuries. They're not missing T.J. Watt and Nick Herbig and Isaac Sayamalu, but they are missing some key guys too. So this is not just going to be a walkover. And I kind of made the point on Friday. Look, Detroit's a 500 team. They just are. Since October, they have not been great. 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago, the Giants went to their house and took them to overtime. So don't act like this can't happen today. It can. Detroit's capable of putting up a stinker. But
yeah,
this guy,
Black Magic
on our screen.
Black Magic points out he tried to do the TJ kick. You are 100% right. It did not go well. It was funny, but it did not go well.
Yeah, and DK's got to eat. I think we're about to illustrate some of that here. With
keep watching.
Keys on the offense here.
Yes. All right. So we're going to highlight. This is the Rams playing against the Lions, obviously from their previous week. So Puka's it's a slot at the bottom of the screen. The Lions defense is not a very good defense as far as like their pass defense. They're 24th in yards allowed, 29th in TDs. They're going to spread this Lions team out and isolate some of these guys in the secondary. And now Brian Branch, he was playing in this game that we're showing here, but Brian Branch is out. He's their best secondary defender. And if you just watch the way that Puka works across the middle, this is exactly where you're talking Black Magic. DK got to eat. This is how DK can eat right here. So you see the outside leverage. Puka's going to set this up to break right across the middle of the field. Clean pocket. And look at this. This should have been an easy pitch and catch for Matthew Stafford. And it's especially for guys playing at the MVP level he is. This was Brian Branch in coverage in this one. He gets beat. Puka just kind of looks up a little early and takes his eye off the ball. Should have been a nice, probably 15-yard gain out of that play. So that's something that I really want. I keep saying this. We need to move DK around. We need to get him out of the slot. Every time he plays in the slot, something good happens. We need to continue to get him more looks out of the slot, especially now we have Thielen, we have MVS. We don't have these small receivers that, Aaron kind of hated before. Keep moving DK around for the love of God.
I know a lot of people have predicted that they will pay so much attention to DK this week that everybody's thinking Valdez-Scantling is going to have a huge game in this, because if they play a lot of single high, if they double DK or they shade DK, then you're leaving Scantling one-on-one against a Detroit defense that he has torched historically. So
yeah.
I think that could, and this goes back to Aaron Rodgers. Look, if you're going to go crazy and say shut down DK, we're one-on-one against a bunch of backups with Scantling and Darnell and Gainwell and all kinds of other guys.
Yep. And the Rams have been using some big jumbo packages similar to us. This one is a 13 personnel look, sending Ferguson, who's a tight end, in motion. Ferguson runs a little out and up right here. You see the out and pops up. Look where the secondary goes following Puka Nacua. Puka's the receiver at the top of the screen by the 20-yard line. He draws not only the corner off of that side, but the safety follows him as well, which you can't see the safety in the screen, but there's the safety coming into the screen right there. And now the safety's like, shit, guys. I don't know if you noticed this guy running down the sideline, but no one's there. So it's a misfire.
Yeah.
It's a misfire by Stafford. But again, just looking at the way that this play developed, I know we don't use Jonnu Smith very well, but Jonnu is a very, very athletic tight end. I would love to see them try to utilize Jonnu Smith in this way right here. Get him on that little out and up. Behind that, I think there was another DB. I can't remember if he was the nickel where he started at or the linebacker. Oh, no, that was Anzalone. That was the linebacker. I'm sorry. But I love the way they bring him in motion. We run a ton out of 13 personnel. So does the Rams, which is why this worked, because they set this up. They had a couple nice runs. And immediately after those nice runs, they take the shot play. Again, the Lions are not a good defense across the board. I love the aggressiveness by McVay in this one. But I really would love to see that play set up for Jonnu Smith. I know we don't use him, but really, really want to. So again, this is out of a 12 personnel this time. They said a tight end. This is a zone run concept. Similar to what the Steelers like to run. And you'll see everyone just kind of find their man. And that's the way this thing kind of works out. And you can tell it's a zone concept because watch the offensive line. They're looking for the guy where they're supposed to go. They slant. You see Dawson immediately puts down a guy. You see the tackle and the tight end. They're getting a double on the outside. The other tight end has, I don't remember if that was Aiden Hutchinson on the outside of this play or not. And it basically leaves a one-on-one for Jack Campbell. But here's the thing. The tackle comes off his man with another tight end coming across. And they seal up. And then here's a pulling lineman. He gets to the next level. He seals up the DB. These zone run concepts are the same thing that the Steelers run. And you can see on this play, they ran it to perfection. We have been better the last couple of weeks running the football. Don't know if that continues today, but I hope that we see something very similar to this out of our jumbo package, because, again, this was a play that they have this great run, and immediately afterwards, which it is the very next play that we're going to show on this, they take another shot. And this was a whole thing with Sean McVay all game long when I watched this tape. As soon as they got a good play, look at this. This is a max protect. This is basically a two-man route with an outlet, and they just let Puka go downfield, and they take the shot play, and it works. So Puka was in a tight split off that. You're going to see it right here. He's at the left side of the screen there, just off of the tight end. He's in a tight split. This looks like another run. They run play action because that big run just happened. Shot play downfield. Works to perfection. You drew that Lions defense up, and they were doing this all game long. That's why they scored so many points against the Lions, is they had a couple nice runs, shot play immediately after.
Yeah, and I think that's you also how easily Puka got off, and Puka's a great receiver. I mean, there's no doubt he's probably top 5 in the league right now. But DK is just as big and just as physical, and even if they were shaving Puka, he still beat that like a drum and was wide open on the shot play. And we know that Aaron Rodgers may be the best play action passer in league history. If he's not, he's definitely in the top 5. This could really work to our favor if we can break a couple of runs. With the backup offensive line. I mean, fingers crossed, but
yeah,
let's see what happens.
And I'll say this too before we set the next play up here. The Rams have allowed the most explosive plays, or I'm sorry, not the Rams. The Lions. The Lions have allowed, I'm watching the Rams on the screen here. The Lions have allowed the most explosive plays in the NFL this year. They have 27 explosive plays just in the last 4 weeks. They have like 53 on the season total, and 27 of them have come in the last 4 weeks. That's an insane number of explosive plays. Mm-hmm. So you have to have an aggressive mindset. You already know this game's going to be a higher scoring game. As an offense, I hope we adopt the same strategies that McVay showed in this. So let's set up the next play here. So the Rams are in 11 personnel. Now, we've been doing better out of 11. I want to continue to see it. The running back split out at the bottom of the screen, which pulls some of the defenders away. And Devontae Adams just has a easy pitch and catch. He was coming out of the slot at the top of the screen. This is another play where you could run this with Adam Thielen. I think he's a guy who gets open extremely well against zone coverages. This was a zone coverage. Now, the Lions didn't exactly get set up very well. Look at this. I mean, they're still pointing, and Stafford's like, well, okay, if you guys aren't going to line up, I'm just going to snap the ball immediately. And you
what
see,
a great job looking off. Right
yes. Here. Yep. And you see the flow of the linebacker. Campbell goes clear across the screen. Here comes his second receiver across the middle, draws everybody away. And then nice little easy pitch and catch to Devontae Adams for another really good game. And that's the type of things you can see from this Lions team is they are very susceptible to giving up those big plays. We just have to be willing to run them. That's all there is to it.
So let's talk about our man, JPJ. There was there's some chatter about him as well in the chat going.
The chat is on fire right now, calling out what we're about to talk about.
I know, it's awesome. It's like they read the notes.
They did. They got the notes down, Pat. I love it. I think we may see a lot of zone in this game, to be honest with you. I'm actually kind of against the zone right now. I think JPJ should be following Williams, not St. Brown. I think Williams is the big play catalyst. So the Lions in this one, they line up in a pony back set with Gibbs and Montgomery in the game together. There's a lot of eye candy in this one. So St. Brown appears to be blocking. If you'll rewind back to that, or we can actually see it right off of the second look too. I think you see it really well. St. Brown is just on the left side of this, or on the right side of the screen there. He looks like he's going to block this edge. You see a puller from the guard, but watch St. Brown just kind of release. And the Rams do a really, really good job of just staying disciplined, recognizing the pass. The linebackers drop back immediately, and they take away everything over top and just force it right underneath. This was supposed to be a play where they slip out with St. Brown, get him open, and he has a nice little run down toward the goal line. But the discipline of the Rams just absolutely shuts this thing down. And the back end did a really great job taking away everybody too. I mean, they're covered up everywhere except this throw. So that's something I think we should do. And honestly, JPJ, I think he should follow Williams, because the more I watch this tape, they're actually drawing up more explosive plays for Williams, and he becomes the catalyst to this offense's really putting up points. Gibbs is the guy who keeps the engine moving, but Williams is the guy who puts points on the board. He is their threat. He's the biggest threat on this team. I thought it was St. Brown going into watching some of these tapes. I'm telling you right now, if I'm locking up man-to-man, JPJ needs to sit on Williams the entire game and shut him down, because everything else from St. Brown, I like the matchup between he and Brandon Eccles. I think I'm fine with him being one-on-one with Asante Samuel Jr. He's not the explosive play guy. Williams is the explosive play guy. You need to take away the explosion, because the Lions want to go and run off of explosive plays. If you shut down Williams, it cuts out a large chunk of what they want to do. That's why I'm saying I think JPJ needs to be on him one-on-one.
And Tyrone's got a good question here. So if JPJ does lock up on Williams, which I totally agree with that. Number one, I think it's a good physical matchup for for JPJ against Williams. He's much bigger. I think he can really affect him at the line. Whereas I don't think Brown cares about getting chipped or whatever. He's just going to try to get away and get a 1 or 2 yard and then run after the catch anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But who do you think? I mean, I kind of like your point with Eccles. I think Eccles and Brown is a good matchup.
Yeah.
I'm less excited to see Samuel on him. I don't know what you think.
You could even do, we've done this in the past where you have JPJ running man as a one-on-one situation with Williams and then zone across the other back end of it. So I think it depends on alignment. If St. Brown is going to be running out of the slot, I'm completely fine with Eccles one-on-one. I think he's played so well against so many of these different receivers that have similar archetypes to what St. Brown does. I'm comfortable with Eccles going one-on-one with him and staying man across the board. Now, because Tesla is not going to beat Asante Samuel in this game. Like he's just not. He's a big physical receiver, but he's really done nothing all season long. Mm-hmm. Now, if you got St. Brown on Asante Samuel, I don't know if you could try it early just to see like how he plays it. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I want him locked up very many times one-on-one with St. Brown though. So I think it's alignment dependent. That's kind of how I would go about it.
Yeah, I kind of like the idea of just JPJ, you got Williams all game, and we're going to play zone underneath against everybody else.
Yeah, I think that could work. So this is actually a play here where I'm going to highlight what I talked about earlier. So the run game's explosive with Gibbs. I think Montgomery is the guy that you've got to shut down as the run game. You're going to give up yardage to Gibbs, but like this is a play right here. He sets up the blocking. He comes back inside, and he's hard to break down. Like he's hard to bring down to the ground, and he is the guy who really moves the chains. I just think that if you shut down Montgomery completely and you give 70 yards to Jahmyr Gibbs, you win this game. And the last piece of that puzzle is shutting down Williams on the outside. No Sam Laporta. They put that out in the chat, Tyrone. That's a good shout out because like he's a massive piece to what they're able to do offensively. He's their third threat in the receiving game. Without him being in here, it is 100% of their offenses ran through Jamison Williams, Jahmyr Gibbs, and Amon-Ra St. Brown in the pass game. That's basically it. They do not look for other options. So I think that's a big piece to this. So I think I really think Montgomery is a key to this game. So in this one, they send St. Brown in motion. This is a play I guarantee you if they get to the goal line, they're going to run against the Steelers. I guarantee it. They run that motion out. They run this little quick screen. Jamison Williams does a great job getting a block here. You've got two linemen pulling outside, setting it up. And this is where St. Brown's physicality really comes into play because he does a great job of just working his way through guys and getting into the end zone. Telling you right now, if we try to shut the run down, that play is going to come into this game, I think. I'm pretty certain they're going to run that down the goal line. And you can see this is just inside the 10-yard line.
I mean, you can just tell this is already a touchdown because once they get this block out here, there's no way these guys are catching St. Brown.
No. Jamison Williams sealed this thing up. The pulling, I think it was the tackle, gets the kick out there, and then the other lineman's just like looking for somebody to hit. But I mean, by that time, St. Brown's down at the goal line, so like it's definitely set up to be a touchdown. That's part of the way the Lions like to spread people out and just do different things. So.
I'm curious because I watched some of the All-22 as well, and Amon-Ra St. Brown, I kind of get a Hines Ward, maybe, but a little faster
Mm,
feel from him. He's that type of receiver. He's the guy who he just takes it in the middle of the field and does the dirty work.
yeah,
But he's so prolific.
he is. He is. He's fantastic. So I'm gonna. This one here is interesting because they use St. Brown out of the backfield a number of different ways too. So they're in a 31 look with Tesla as the big blocking receiver. St. Brown again. He fakes a block and quick releases on a short route, creating a ton of separation. And Goff just hits him uncovered. And this ends up being a nice game. It's all generated from play action. So they run out of this look a lot. They get that play action. You saw both linebackers kind of suck up into the line of scrimmage there. And by the time the backside backer recognizes the pass, all he's doing is trying to create ground where he can try to shut down a massive play. Because look at there's 8 to 10 yards of separation here at this point.
Yeah.
So this is a nice little wrinkle that they will use with St. Brown. These are plays designated just for him, where they try to isolate him and get him quick, easy looks.
And Rams are good defense, but wasn't that their backup tight end that they faked the handoff to? I mean, why are you biting on that play action? I don't get that. I know they're the Lions. They run some crazy stuff, but
Yeah.
I mean, if I see Amon-Ra St. Brown in the backfield and a tight end, I'm not buying the play fake. I'm hoping you're tackling the quarterback at that point.
Yeah.
This is a good question from Tyrone. Where do we see Ramsey playing a role?
He's definitely going to have to be a big part of stopping the deep ball. Well, honestly, he and Duggar both are going to have to take away the deep shots downfield to Jamison Williams, depending on if we're not going to run JPJ one-on-one. But I also think he should probably be the guy who if we come out in those cover 2 looks where we kind of roll into that cover 3, he comes up and plays more in that middle of the field role. He could take away some of these crossing routes. Williams will run a lot of crossing routes. He and St. Brown both really. But they like running those speed, like slant speed crossing route, the deep dig type stuff. He could really step up and possibly get an interception off of one of those.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're probably going to be stuck in cover 4 and try to force everything underneath. So he and Duggar will both be kind of split in the middle of the field there. But I'm not sure. I think I would try more cover 3 in this and let him come up out of that cover 2 look to jump those routes and see if he can either get some PBUs in here or possibly even pick one of those passes off, because Goff will throw it across the middle of the field all day. He's comfortable doing it.
All over, yeah.
And he will out of those looks for sure.
You know what? Another role I see Ramsey in. Now look, I think Jahmyr Gibbs is probably the best running back in football. I've said that many times, and if from a fantasy perspective, he is the by far the best player in fantasy football to me. Now, that being said, I would love to see Jalen Ramsey stick Jahmyr Gibbs one time hard and see if he's too good. He wouldn't just quit, but see if he all of a sudden becomes less willing on the outside and to do some of the dancing he does. I think Ramsey could play a role. And if you stick him on Ross St. Brown, this is where he's not like Hines Ward.
Yeah.
He can kind of shrink a little bit. I mean, he's not going to be afraid to catch the ball. He doesn't have alligator arms, but he can become a little bit less aggressive in the middle of the field if you really stick him good. And, the guy's had a couple concussions in his career too.
Mm-hmm. And then Black Magic, I agree with this. Yeah, Gibbs' speed can kill us if we let him have his way. We got to control, and that might be, Bob, that might be a good point. Maybe you have him kind of go match up with Gibbs out of the backfield, even like line him up in more of a linebacker type role and just follow Gibbs wherever he goes. So when we go man, that might be a way to go. So
tell Duggar, hey man, you got it in the middle of the field.
Yep. More Peyton Wilson probably in this game, especially when Gibbs is on the field.
Yeah, and Malik Harrison has played pretty well the last couple of weeks, but I think this is a horrible matchup against. Maybe if you knew Montgomery was in the game, you could get away with it, but I don't. I think we have to have Peyton Wilson, and I even said on Friday, frankly, if Sawyer is having trouble generating against Penei Sewell, I would kind of like to see Peyton Wilson a couple reps on the edge just to give it a different look, because Herbig's key to his success is how fast he gets off the ball. Man, Peyton Wilson is faster. I don't know if he gets off the ball as fast, but I know he doesn't get off the ball. Herbig's the best in the NFL at getting off the ball. But I maybe just a wrinkle to throw in there, because you're talking about two more power type rushers with Alex and Sawyer, and come on, Jeremiah Moon, get the fuck out of here with that. And I definitely don't want to see DeMarvin Lee out, but every once in a while, I'd love to see Peyton Wilson just slip in on the edge and see what happens.
Yep. Before we get to the next questions in the chat, let's set up this last play here, and then we can start getting into some of the chat stuff here. That was a great play design, by the way.
Yeah.
Jameson Williams, this is the key to the offense, in my opinion. He's the outside receiver at the bottom of the screen. The Rams are in a zone defense, so if we do run a lot of zone, this is the problem with him. His speed, he just wins. This is a cover 3 look. He just wins with pure speed. I mean, there was nothing special about this. This is why I think he has to be a guy you have to shut down. This is why I would let JPJ go one-on-one. You can see they run across or underneath. I think that was St. Brown. And just he splits the safeties. That's just speed. He did not do anything special. That's partially play design and primarily speed winning, because he's at the bottom of the screen. There he is on the bottom, coming all the way out to the 20-yard line down there. So you see St. Brown coming out the middle, which holds the one safety, and then the corner and the safety on the back end. You're not catching this dude in the open field. I'm sorry. You're just not. Now, if the one safety had stayed back, you have to worry about the St. Brown connection in the middle of the field. He jumps the route, not seeing Williams coming in that deep post, and that's ball game. That's what they want to do all day.
And one thing with Williams there, you saw how he got that free release and got it. If he gets a free release off the line, good fucking luck. I mean, we don't have anybody. There's nobody in the NFL. If you give him a free release, who's going to run with that guy. So that's where I think you're really onto something with Joey Porter here, because Joey Porter, he's going to be up on his face. He might get called for holding a bunch, but there isn't going to be any free release for Jameson Williams if Joey Porter is matched up with him.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's the biggest thing.
So let's talk about keys to victory. Vaughn, this is especially for you since you asked for it.
It actually is. Bob gets the notes, he takes the notes, and he delivers, people. It's all right. I think number one key to victory, you've got to generate the interior pressure with Goff, and I think it needs to come primarily off a 4-man rush. You can sprinkle in some blitzes. I saw a couple of occasions where the Rams were trying to bring some long blitzes, some corner blitzes. They tried to bring a safety blitz at one point, and I think that is something that it just does not go well. Goff wants to get rid of the ball quickly. Those long, lengthy blitzes that set up, it takes time. And you're just not going to have that kind of time with the way that guys like Williams and Gibbs can win quickly. St. Brown, he's a good route runner. Even though he doesn't have like the top end speed, he wins very quickly. You have to try to generate this as much with a 4-man rush as you can. So the second key to this, bend but don't break. And I think primarily I'm saying that because I expect us to run a lot more zone. I prefer to run a little bit more man on this, but I think we're going to primarily run maybe some more cover 4 type zones, trying to keep everything underneath, limit the explosive plays by the Lions. And even though you're going to give up yardage in this game, you're just not going to shut this offense down. They're number one in like fucking 5 categories. That's just the way it is. You're not shutting them down, but hold them to field goals. If you hold the field goals, you can stick around in this game and you can make a run at this thing. That's got to be the second thing, is you bend but don't break as a defense and understand you're going to give up yardage.
Eagles did a really good job of this against them a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Eagles defense is a little better than ours, but
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
that was their key.
Number 3, MVP Rodgers. So Aaron does need to go back to playing like the MVP Aaron Rodgers from Green Bay. We've started to see him play better the last couple of weeks as we've opened up this playbook a little bit. This could be a 40-throw game for Aaron, which he hasn't done in quite a while, but this could turn into a shootout. and I think you're going to need him throwing the ball about close to 40 times in this one if you want to win. That's just the way it is. They give up explosive plays. You want to let Aaron create the explosive plays. So I think this is going to be a huge Aaron Rodgers game if we're going to pull this thing off. Bob, I'll let you go ahead and walk through number 4.
Biggest key to the game. Okay, so we know Dave is not always optimistic. And in group chat during the game, he can be very pessimistic if something goes wrong early. Things are going to go wrong on defense today, guys. Don't panic. Relax. It's going to happen. But if we're not scoring and at least matching or staying close to matching them score for score, look, I said it on Friday. I'll say it again. This is not going to be a 16-9, 20-17, 23-20 type of game. If the Steelers are going to win, they got to put up at least 35 points. And I think they can against this defense. So that's why I'm optimistic. But if we go out and we try to just, hey, run, pass, punt the ball, if we punt the ball 3 times in the first half, I think it's going to be very hard to win the game. Unless we get lucky and Detroit's just turning the ball over left and right.
Let's answer this question. What do you feel about this one right here?
I'd kind of rather see Ramsey in the box and Duggar as the safety valve. But, I think Detroit is so good with all their multiple sets. And just when you think, and they are run heavy. I mean, if you're betting on the run, they run the ball. You would think these guys throw the ball 70 times a game. They don't. They run the ball, and they run the ball. So can you sneak down in the box and maybe get away with it? And I'm okay. Take chances. Do it. Whatever. But in a perfect world, if this was our actual defense, no, I wouldn't have Duggar in the box. I'd have Ramsey.
It's really interesting because the way that we've used Duggar is very different from the way he was used in New England. He was used as more of a box safety in New England. And here, there's been a number of times where he's the deep guy. I mean, he is the absolute last line of defense guy, and they're having Ramsey be a little bit more aggressive. So I think because you have Ramsey as more of a playmaker than what Duggar is, I'm completely okay letting him be the deep safety valve. And just shutting down the deep plays if you can. Or at least Duggar has been a very good tackler since he's been here. So at least as the last line of defense, you have a solid tackler back there, and you can let Ramsey play a little bit more aggressive. I think aggression is going to be the key to this game. Either way, you're going to win or die by being aggressive in this one. If you be safe, we're just going to get blown out. That's just how I feel about it.
I feel like, everybody knows I'm a huge Tomlin critic, but I feel like, over the last couple of games, you got to give him some kudos. He has, at least for 2 games, has changed. This is really where proof of the pudding is. But this is where I actually think you can fuck with Dan Campbell by just being smart. Like if it's 4th and 3 and you're in Boz range in the dome, take the 3 points. Okay. Mm-hmm. Dan Campbell, it can be 4th and 10 on his own 30 and he's going for it. So like you said, bend, don't break, hold field goals, get a long field or get him in down and distance on 4th down. He doesn't care. He'll go for it. And I don't think necessarily maybe hold them to a field goal, but I think one time, maybe twice, they're going to do something stupid on 4th down, and that's going to give us a real chance to stay in the game or pull ahead in the game.
Yeah.
Feeling over under. I feel like
depends on how this thing plays out.
I feel like if we're aggressive, he could hit this over.
I do too.
Especially against that defense. I think they're gonna say, hey, because DK's had a couple good games in a row, I really think they're gonna take the bait and go after DK and try to shut him down.
Yeah. I think I'm going to take the over, which he's only had, 1 catch in each game so far?
Yeah.
So, sounds stupid. But I also think this becomes a shootout. I think Aaron could get close to that 40 pass mark. And if he's getting to 40 passes, I think Thielen's going to probably have 3 receptions in this one. I mean, you got to think that the games where he's only catching 1 pass, Aaron's only throwing 25 times. roughly.
Mhm.
So if you push that number up closer to 40, somebody's got to catch the ball outside of Kenneth Gainwell. So
Yeah.
you got to assume he's got to be in the mix.
I'll tell you, betting today, I love the over/under here. I'm hammering the over. I think it's going to be a very high-scoring game, and I also like Scantling for an anytime touchdown. I think he is going to get loose for one or two big plays.
I really hope so, and I think he can. He's going to be a big key to this because he's going to be the guy that takes the pressure off DK Metcalf. And I'll say this too. Anzalone is a pretty nice coverage linebacker. He's not great. He's solid in coverage. He can be had, though. I think he and Kenny Gainwell are going to be a great matchup for the Steelers. If you get Campbell isolated with just about anybody outside of Darnell Washington, that's another great matchup because Campbell's nowhere near as effective in pass coverage as Anzalone is. And so, like, tight end usage could become a key thing in this game. I'll tell you what, I would love to see Darnell get a couple little dump passes and see the secondary try to tackle them because you get some backups in there. Kirby Joseph's out. Brian Branch is out. There's going to be some guys making less than $1 million a year with some life choices when that man's coming at them. So I just want to see it selfishly.
You know what I would love to see because everybody's focused on Gainwell, and rightly so. He's played great the last few weeks. But I would love to see, and they've run it a little bit, that pony back, two back set where Jalen's out there with him, and everybody's so focused on Gainwell. Slip Warren out to the other side. Don't forget, Jalen is great in space, and he's a good receiving back. You know, we and if Detroit is so focused on Gainwell, I really think Jalen's going to do something today special because everybody has spoken. Oh, Gainwell should be number one, and Gainwell this, and Gainwell that. Man, get them both in the game. Let everybody flow towards Gainwell, and give me Warren backside one-on-one against Jack Campbell, who's a good linebacker, and that backup secondary. I mean, I like my chances. I like my chances there.
I do too, and hopefully he's completely healthy after that illness he had. So because he needs to be a big piece of this game because I think, as we showed, those big pass plays the Rams were hitting were coming off of good run plays, and that's the thing. You have to be able to establish some run. You know, we're going to have. Listen, Dylan Cook is going to have himself a matchup today. We're going to see if the last 2 weeks have been real Dylan Cook because he looks legit. Like he looks like a legit starting left tackle right now.
Yeah.
But he's got Spencer Anderson next to him today, not Isaac Seumalo. And he talked in one of his interviews this week, I think it was on Tuesday. He was getting a lot of alignment help and a lot of schematic help of where he needs to go from Isaac Seumalo. Now you take him out and Spencer Anderson gets inserted into the starting lineup. Does he still play with the same level of confidence that he knows where his assignments are? He knows how to, who he's picking up on plays. Isaac was talking through the stunts with him, like the slants. He was literally going through everything as far as what he should be seeing on each play. And I think that helped him play at a higher level. So we'll see if that continues with Spencer Anderson being the guard instead of Isaac Seumalo. But got a couple backups, and they can still move the ball, I think.
Yeah. And my man Tyrone is from the Bob School of Optimism. I love it. Look, if this happens, if A-Rod did throw for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns, I think there's no question we end up winning this game. The question is, can he do it? I think even if he plays smart and he plays great, I don't know about 303, but if it's 250-2, it's going to be close.
I think if A-Rod gets 303, then you got to be talking about this team's got a real shot at winning this game. For sure. As long as the defense holds up their end of the bargain. If you get 303 out of Aaron, then you probably are putting up at minimum, you're talking about putting up a minimum of 28 points. The Lions average
30 points.
Actually have it. It's 30. Yeah. Yep. I was going to say, I knew it was like right at 30. 30.6. You still got to get at least a field goal somewhere probably to beat this team. You got to put up at least 31 is what you need to probably shoot for. But, I mean, this team's not good as a run defense. They're about middle of the pack. They're terrible against the pass. At 13th in yards, 13th in touchdowns rushing. as a defense for the Lions. So you gotta be aggressive in this game to beat this team. And Dan Campbell's going to be aggressive. He's not going to hold anything back. Tomlin has to match that energy. And I think this is going to be a huge key. But
and based on the Bears win last night, this is it for Detroit. They cannot lose a game.
Right. They're going to come out. They're playing for their playoff life right now.
Yeah. And even right now, it's no lock. Because
they could win out and still miss the playoff, right? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
they need help.
49ers, Rams, Seahawks are looking like locks. You don't have the tiebreaker against the Packers. I don't think they catch Green Bay. I mean,
who lost to the Bears, which I think helped the Lions a little bit. It does.
It helps. Yeah, it helps a little bit.
But did not seal anything for them. They still can be on the outside looking in if they win out. This is a must win for them. And I'll be honest, as a fan, I feel like this is a must win for us too, because this actually is probably the benchmark for how your team's going to be in the playoff. I mean, this Lions team, if they sneak in, they're not going to be the best team in the playoff on either side. They're far from it. So, like, if we can't beat this team, even though their offense is so good, we're not going to make it in the playoff. So this is a great benchmark for us to see, like, where we are. Are we going to be a legitimate playoff team? If we get blown out in this game, doesn't really matter who we play. We all talked about it. Do you want the Chargers? Do you want the Jaguars? Like, who do you want in the playoff? Do you want the Bills? If we get beat by the Bills by more than 10 points, I don't want to see any of them because we're going to get blown out by them too. You know what I mean? So it's a great barometer game.
Yeah. No such thing as moral victories, but I think it's a barometer game for the offense. I mean, we know what we're getting on defense. Okay. But if the offense goes out and they eat and they're efficient and they put up points and they're scoring 28 to 38 points, then I think, okay, we know going into the playoffs, we're going to be able to score and compete with anybody. It's just about, and we know we're not going to be banged up, at least knock on wood. We hope we're not going to be banged up on this badly on defense by the time the playoffs roll around.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I mean, if you want, I know I don't have to tell you to be optimistic, Bob, but if you want to be optimistic about this team, Miami was running the ball at a really, really high rate of success going into that game. We shut that run game down for the most part. I know A-Chain still averaged 5.4, but because of the way the game played out, you can say whatever you want about the average. We forced them out of it. We forced the game to play on our terms. And that is also in part by, yes, the defense is stepping up and playing better since that Buffalo game, which from the sounds of things, guys like Patrick Queen, Jalen Ramsey, who else was in on that? They called a players only meeting to talk about what they wanted. They started talking with Terrell Austin about what they want to see ran schematically as a defense. Since then, they have turned around. You can say the Ravens aren't a great team. You can say the Dolphins weren't a great team. But let's be honest, the Ravens run all over us every year. And they didn't in that game. The Dolphins were running all over everyone for weeks, and they didn't run all over us in that game. There's a formula that they've clearly found out on the defensive side of the ball that is starting to work. You're going to find out really quickly if it continues to work in this game against the Lions, because this is the top offense in the league. Offensively, you could say the same thing. I still think Aaron Rodgers is calling the shots at this point. I think he started after that Buffalo game. He said, listen, fuckers, you guys got my wrist broken. I'm over this bullshit. My nose was broken. It's time for me to take control of the reins. And we're just going to run what I want to run, and I'm going to dictate the terms of this, and we're going to go win ball games by being aggressive.
Mm-hmm. And honestly, if they're not going to be aggressive, if they come out and let's just say they go Tomlin here, okay, we're going to punt the football and we're going to win an ugly game and it's 84-0 now in the second quarter, please just put Will Howard in the game. Please. Yeah. Please just throw him out there, because if you're going to give up on this game, which is no problem. I have no problem saying, you know what, fuck it. Okay, we tried. It's 21-0. Put Will Howard in and send him down, although I think he's inactive for the game. All right, I don't know.
He's the third emergency quarterback, I think.
Yeah, bump him up to the backup. Make Mason the emergency guy today. Because let's face it, if Aaron gets hurt, it's not going to be a close game. So just throw the guy out there and see what he can do.
Yeah. I think you just listen. I agree. You have to come out aggressive in this game. You have to play aggressive in this game. We went for it twice on 4th down against the Dolphins. I about shit myself. 3 times. Yes, 3 times. I'm like, what the fuck is it? Who kidnapped Mike Tomlin and where are they hiding him? Because that is not Tomlin on the sideline if we're going for it on 4th down. Like, we all know he will punt from anywhere on the field, even inside our own 5-yard line. We will punt from anywhere. Like, what the hell happened? But stay aggressive.
There was a time when he was one of the most aggressive coaches in the league. When the 2-point conversion came in, they went for 2 constantly, which I didn't love, but I mean, he did. And just something happened. And I really think I still point to that Saints game in 18 when they fake punted and lost that game and cost them the playoffs. I think that's where it changed. I think that's where he went from, okay, I'm just going to go into a shell and I'm going to play my way. And I know better than everybody else. That's kind of the line of demarcation for me.
Yeah. What do you think about this?
How many 4th downs? I would say the Lions, they go for it all the time. They go for it to their detriment. I mean, Dan Campbell, you could say, hey, man, it's 4th and 11, and you got a 38-yard field goal. Let's go for it. Let's go for it. Let's go for it. I mean, I think this will happen. This is why I like the Steelers in this game, because I think he's going to do this once or twice, not so much a field goal. I think he's going to go for it on 4th down. That's too long. He shouldn't do it, and the Steelers figure out a way to stop it, and that's how we get our stops. It's 4th and 11. It'll be a 40-yard field goal. He'll go for it, and we'll get a stop. And if we turn that around and score off of it, that's how we win the game.
Yeah. I'm going to go under 3.5. I know they're going to go for it any chance they get, but I can see 3. I don't know if I see 4 happening in one game. That's a lot.
Yeah. And this is a team too, by the way, when they get 4th and 1, this is no tush push team. 4th and 1, they're just as likely to take a shot down the field.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, that Thanksgiving game, they ran a fucking play action naked bootleg out to the right, dragging Jamison Williams clear across the field. That is a long setup play on a 4th and 3, I think is what it was, yeah. 4th and 2, whatever it was. Like, that is a very long, drawn-out play. Like, they will run anything in the playbook on 4th down. They don't care. They don't care. They will call anything. So, yeah, they're an interesting team but it works for them. I mean, it's lost them a couple games this year. It's won them some games in the past. Like, Dan Campbell, you know one thing, he's going to be consistent. I mean, their defense, they really don't change up their personnel on defense even. They stay in base a lot. I mean, a lot of the game, they're staying in their base defense even when you're in an 11 personnel look. Uh-huh. And that's why I really feel like Kenny Gainwell's going to have I bet Kenny Gainwell has 8 receptions in this game, and he probably goes over 70 yards receiving.
My man, Jesus. Vaughn. Hey, Vaughn, I said this in chat last night.
You did too.
We're on the same wavelength, buddy. I did say this. I was like, hear me out, Malik Willis.
Good God.
Hey, you know what? I'll get you on my side on this, Trent. Malik Willis or Kyler Murray?
I don't want either. Just play Will Howard.
But it's the Steelers. You're gonna get one.
Honestly, Malik Willis shuts his mouth more, so I'd rather have Malik Willis than Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
At least he probably shows up to the film room and does his homework and doesn't bitch about every little thing under the sun.
Look,
I don't know.
Honestly, sitting in Green Bay has been really good for him. He looks a lot better. In Tennessee, he looked like, hey, Kenny Pickett was the way better pick.
Yeah.
I don't know now after watching last night, just because that throw to Dobbs was great, and he's good with his legs. Look, he's not a franchise quarterback.
No.
But if we're going to do what we do and just say, okay, let's throw somebody out there for a year, I think I would kind of like to see it, or at least have him and Will Howard battle it out.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be cheap.
Yeah, it would. I would. I want no part of Kyler Murray. I'm sorry. Under no circumstance do I want to see Kyler Murray in a Steeler uniform. I don't care who's available.
Kyler, Tua, or Malik Willis, Will Howard competition. I think I want the Malik Willis, Will Howard competition.
Yeah, I don't want the 2-1 either. Do we think PQ will have a good game today? I think we have to have a good game out of PQ in this game.
Yes, and I think because the defensive line is healthy, that Queen will have a good game today. He had a good game last week.
Yeah, he did. He did. I thought he played exceptionally well last week. And I'm going to say this. I've said this all of last year when everybody was tearing PQ apart. Like, the Pittsburgh Steelers defense from a linebacker perspective is completely predicated on the defensive line guys eating double teams. And the more unselfish you play between Cam Hayward, Keanu Benton, Derek Harmon, especially now that he's back, and Y.A. Black when he's in the game, the more these guys can eat up the double teams, it lets these linebackers run free. Patrick Queen is not a big bruising guy. He's not Ray Lewis. He is a speed guy who gets there. He will hit. He's not afraid to hit, but that's not his game. His game's built on speed. He has to run free. The more these guys can eat up double teams in the front, it lets him run free. That's what happened last game in Miami, and he made plays. And you're going to see the games he's played really, really well are games where he's running free and he's just being super ultra aggressive as a linebacker, and his instincts aren't bad. He's not perfect, but he's not bad. I think as long as these front three guys control the game for us, Patrick Queen can definitely have a big game.
That's the key to Montgomery too, because Queen Montgomery will be where the matchup should be if the defensive line does their job.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so we got a long wait for a game. I like 1 o'clock games. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just the old man in me, but I kind of like 1 o'clock games. But 4:25. At least we don't have to wait till tonight to watch it, or worse tomorrow.
Yeah,
The hangovers get worse than the later the games get. So, any last second thoughts out there, Trent, for the game? I think we've covered almost everything, but.
There was one thing I wanted to bring up earlier and I forgot. So I know we talked on the Tuesday show about whether or not Aiden Hutchinson will move around.
Mm-hmm.
You could see Aiden Hutchinson. I don't know what the hell just fell over here, but Aiden Hutchinson will move to the other side. You could very realistically see Aiden Hutchinson one-on-one with Cook in this ballgame. So Cook might have an interesting. Either way, both edge rushers for Detroit are solid players. Aiden's obviously a top tier kind of guy, but he's going to be interesting to watch. You're probably going to have to get him some help in this game.
Yeah, go Patriots, fuck the Patriots. You know what I do think would be interesting too, because they did a little bit with McCollum in the jumbo package and playing Anderson.
Mm-hmm.
I would kind of like to see if they do that. If somehow Spencer Anderson could be the one on that side, and yeah, it might put one less guy in the pattern, but I feel like Anderson and Cook would have a chance of slowing him down. I mean, Darnell can obviously do it, but I need Darnell out in the pattern in this game.
Yeah, I think so too. Did you happen to see anybody show the All-22 film of Spencer Anderson running like a freaking corner route, like 20 yards downfield, raising his hand, like wanting the ball? I was cracking up. I'm like, Spencer Anderson out here, 320 pounds, out here running a freaking corner route to the pylon in the end zone was amazing.
He caught the one pass Aaron threw to him.
He did. I was just cracking up because he called one there and he called for the ball one other time. I was laughing. I'm like, dude, you are not going to be in Aaron's radar. I'm sorry. Love you, buddy. But side note, I brought this up a few weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, so I forget when it was. If Spencer Anderson is the jumbo lineman, he cannot play the following play at left guard. So that is a little wrinkle to our jumbo package. So if you guys are watching out for something, if he's out, McCollum has to stay in as the guard. Or I don't know if Andres Pete is he active?
I
They could
want to
probably
say I thought
kick.
he was out.
Okay, I looked and then I can't remember if I saw his name on the list.
Let me check because they won't announce officially till a little later on.
Right.
No, Andres Pete is active today.
He is active. So that might be an interesting little wrinkle. Andres Pete could be the guy who comes in to play guard if Spencer Anderson's going to run out of the jumbo package. And he wasn't bad when they did it a handful of times the last time this whole thing worked. But if you wonder why Andres Pete is in playing guard, it is because we probably just ran the jumbo package and Spencer Anderson cannot report back as an ineligible lineman on the following play.
Nice. All right. So, guys, hopefully we'll be back for Victory Monday tomorrow. Let's have a respectable showing. Positive vibes here. If the Steelers come out and play aggressive, it can happen. Stay positive. Mute Dave if he's in any of your chats. Just kidding, Dave. We love you. All right. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow night.
Well, take care, man. Gotta get back.
Sure. Take it easy, dude.
Oh, yeah.
I know that you will.
Yeah, well, the dude abides.
I don't know about you, but I take comfort in that.